Hi guys, thanks for joining again. So last week I was not able to make a video just to update you guys what's been going on because we decided to take a trip to Nairobi. Now, there's a couple different reasons why we had to go to Nairobi. One, we had to get our work visas and get a resident ID card. And then two, we felt that we needed to get a vehicle while we were here in Kenya. So that was kind of like our mission and purpose of why we had to go to Nairobi. So on Sunday last week, I worked in the morning and then we decided to drive to Nairobi in the afternoon. So we had a really good friend who was willing to drive us there and help us purchase a vehicle while we're in Nairobi. So we left Sunday, and I think on Google it says that the trip from Kendu to Nairobi is about 6 hours, but with traffic and with stopping, I think it was probably closer to 7.5. Now, it's been a while since our kids were sitting in a car for that long, so it was an interesting trip. Plus, we didn't have car seats. We tried to use these compact travel, like MyFold kind of car seats to adjust the seatbelts, but then they did not want to deal with that. So Sherry had to sit in the back with all three of her girls, and it was an experience in and of itself. But on our car ride down to Nairobi, it was actually very cool to see the changes of the landscape in Kenya. So, for example, we had to drive through where they have all the tea plantations, and it's actually really pretty. Just because you kind of go through and everything is like fields upon fields of these tea plantations, and they're just like luscious green fields of these tea trees. And so it's pretty cool to see. And I guess, side note, Kenya is actually, I think, one of the top exporters of tea. I think second only to China. So it's pretty cool to see. And then also it changes drastically from those really fertile lands of tea trees and plantations to like almost like a desert-like landscape. And that's kind of like um, the area of Kenya where you kind of get into like going to some of the game parks, like the Masai Mara area. So it was really cool to see just the changes of landscape and the topography in Kenya. But we were able to make it to Nairobi Sunday night. And then Monday morning, we had to go to the immigration office and take care of all the work visas and the resident IDs. And then, or probably around like maybe 10 or 11 on Monday morning, my friend and I decided to go look for cars. Now, the vehicles in Kenya are actually all imported outside. And so I think the biggest, I guess, country of origin is from Japan. So there's a lot of Japanese cars. And I think there's some sort of like rule about like how old they have to be, because I think the newest car that we found was a 2015. And so like a new car that's in Kenya is considered like the most recently like imported vehicle, and a used car is a car that's been used in Kenya as well too. So we were kind of looking at both cars, and I was kind of really just I didn't really have a particular vehicle in mind. We were initially thinking about getting a van, but then when we're purchasing this vehicle, even in the U.S., there's so many different factors. And so for here, specifically in Kenya, I mean, we're thinking about like resale value. We're thinking about, even like how often a certain type of vehicle will be pulled over by police. And so kind of keeping those things in mind, we spent some time, like several hours, just walking on from lot to lot and taking a look at all these vehicles. And with our budget, which is about 10,000 US dollars, we decided that probably the best vehicle that would kind of fit that after several hours looking was like kind of like a Subaru Outback. And so that kind of narrowed our kind of search while we were walking around. So it took us about probably a day and a half. So by um, Tuesday afternoon, we were able to find one vehicle that kind of fit everything. So we ended up purchasing a 2009 Subaru Outback, and it had about 160,000 kilometers. And thankfully, the previous owner, it was used here in Kenya, so they took, decent care of the interior. And I think they recently just did a kind of basic service, you know, package for the vehicle. So it was relatively in good condition. The tires look good as well too. So we felt the most comfortable there. So we ended up paying, I think it was pretty much around like 11,000 US dollars for the vehicle. And so we had to kind of go through the whole process. Like after we agreed, then we'd have to like go to the bank, and I had to give them the US dollars, and then they had to exchange at the bank the rate, and then they had deposit to his accounts. And then we had to go this whole experience of trying to change the title. And like you don't have to go to like a DMV, you can kind of go to like a local agent, and it ended up being like this small little closet of a store, and they kind of did everything online and did all the registration and stuff like that. So we were able to purchase a vehicle, and the next day, Wednesday, we were able to take the car to a mechanic just to kind of look things over again, make sure everything's running smoothly, especially since we had to drive back to Kendu. But he actually said it would look really good condition. So everything looked good, suspension underneath the car looked really good, brakes looked good. So really it was just a huge answer to prayer, just because I'm sure you all know buying a car is always stressful, but then buying a car in a different country was even more of an experience for myself. But again, huge answer to prayer, and we're very grateful that we were able to find this vehicle. And so we ended up driving back on Wednesday, came back to Kimdom Thursday, I should say. But we came back Thursday night, and so we have a vehicle now. So we're just very happy that we were able to find it. And I guess we were able to spend some time in Nairobi afterwards too, but I think we'll just save that for a later video. But want to share the most recent news, and we will talk to you guys more later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.